This is Echoes of the Silk Road, where dreams speak, legends breathe, and every tale invites you to wander. The open road, the call to adventure, the thrill of destiny, the damp realization you forgot to pack toilet paper. Yep, we finally left. After the endless arguing, after the pitiful training montage, after surviving Kevin's cooking, which might be a crime against humanity. We left, actually walked out of the kingdom, crossed the moat, which was just the drainage ditch, with all the ceremony of stepping over a slightly aggressive puddle. And let me tell you, travel is the worst part of questing. No one talks about that in the legends. They skip from, and so they set out, to, they arrived at the lair of the dragon. Yeah, no, it's not happening like that at all. Turns out there's like 50 miles of nothing. 50 miles between heroic departure and epic showdown. But hey, we were committed. We're doing this, I said confidently. Because we have no other options, Kevin muttered. Can't wait to see which one of you dies first, Celine added cheerfully. Trashington burped and offered no further comment. Our supplies were laughable. Kevin's magic book, burned on 3 corners, Celine's knives, plural, constantly being sharpened while glaring at us, Trashington's trash satchel, contents unknown, possibly cursed, my trash can lid shield, and my bent plastic sword, now shaped like a question mark of regret. Oh, and the map. How could I forget? Our glorious map, drawn in crayon on the back of a takeout menu, which was now even more unreadable after getting rained on so many times it qualified as a sponge. I tried reading it anyway. Okay, if this blob is us, we go north? That's west. It's upside down. We're doomed. Team spirit was at an all-time high. We didn't even have horses, or a cart, or dignity. We walked for hours, through mud puddles and the kingdom's equivalent of suburbia that slowly gave way to sad farmland. I tried to keep morale up. At least it's not raining. It immediately rained. Never speak again. Kevin refused to use magic for trivialities. He said it wasted his reserves. But he did conjure a tiny flame to light his cigarette. Priorities and all that jazz. Celine disappeared for 20 minutes at one point. Came back with apples she definitely didn't buy. We didn't ask. Trashington insisted on foraging, which meant stealing from raccoon nests. We had a serious argument about whether that was cannibalism. The first night, camping was a disaster. We tried to set up a fire. Kevin burned all our kindling in one go. Trashington chewed through the string I was using to tie the tent. Celine refused to sleep on the ground and tried to nap in a tree. Then fell out when she heard an owl. I ended up sleeping on my shield. It was wet. This is fine, I lied to myself. But we pressure on. Because we're heroes. Or at least, because the kingdom wouldn't let us back in without a receipt for saving it. The second day was even worse. We entered the Forest of Mild Inconveniences. I wish I was making that up. That's what it was called on the map, right next to probable death. It was underwhelming. Twisted trees, creepy sounds, the kind of fog that made you question your life choices. Trashington loved it, said it felt like home. Kevin was convinced it was haunted. Celine stole mushrooms she claimed were valuable. I was just trying not to cry. About an hour in, we got lost. Because, of course, The path forked in three directions. Our map helpfully said, "Choose wisely," in green crayon. "This is so professional," Celine deadpanned. Kevin started flipping coins. Trashington offered to pee on the path to mark it. To pee on it! I tried to stay calm. I need to woosah. So we voted, which was a mistake, because no one agreed. I chose left, Kevin chose right, Celine chose straight to hell. Trashington chose to bite my ankle. We settled on left, unanimously, after a lot of yelling and biting. What did left get us? Mud. Endless mud. The kind that pulls your shoes off and laughs at you. Trashington had the time of his life, rolled in it, mocked us the whole time. Celine almost stabbed me for suggesting this path. Kevin threatened to quit, but he had nowhere else to go. I reminded them rent was due in a week. They'd shut everyone up. We camped again, this time under a leaning tree that dripped on us all night. No fire, no food except half-eaten apples and questionable mushrooms. Trashington tried to eat Kevin's sock. I didn't stop him. Morale was dirt low. But hey, heroes never die alone, right? You ever tried to lead a group of people who actively hate following? Because that was me. The chosen one. Leader by default. Not because I was inspiring, but because no one else wanted the job. We woke up in that miserable forest with sore backs, damp clothes, and murder in our eyes, mostly directed at me. Celine was sharpening her knives with the enthusiasm of someone picturing my face. Scary. Kevin had dark circles under his eyes so big they had their own postal code. Trashington was licking himself inappropriately. Leadership was doing a fantastic job. It was going great, honestly. I tried for a pep talk. Okay, team. Today, we get back on track. Kevin. Define track. Celine. Define team. Trashington. Define shut up. We ate a breakfast of stale bread, half a stolen apple, and regret. Trashington brought us berries he found. Kevin said they were poisonous. Trashington ate them anyway to prove a point. He didn't even get sick. I think he's unkillable. After our meal, we had to pick a direction again. The map was now so waterlogged it had become modern art. Celine wanted to go back. Kevin wanted to find a tavern. Trashington wanted to loot an abandoned shed we saw. Me? I tried to keep us moving forward, which was unappreciated. Celine. Why do you care so much? Me. Because if we fail, the kingdom burns. Kevin. Might improve property values. Trashington. More trash for me. Celine. Sounds like a win-win. I threatened to cry if they didn't listen. Not proud. Effective, though. We trudged onward, and let me tell you, fantasy wilderness is not glamorous. It's 90% mud, 10% spiders with an attitude problem. Fuck those spiders. We had an argument about crossing a small creek. Kevin wanted to freeze it with magic. He accidentally froze Trashington's tail. Celine laughed so hard she nearly fell in. Trashington bit Kevin on the ankle. I broke it up by falling in the water, fully submerged, heroic as hell. My socks squished for hours after that. We ran into bandits, if you can call them that. 3 teenagers with wooden clubs who looked more scared than us. The bandit leader. Give me your gold. Kevin. We're broke. Celine. Try us. Trashington. Eat shit. They ran away before we even drew weapons. Celine was disappointed. She wanted to fight. Kevin thanked them for not stabbing us. Trashington stole one of their shoes as a trophy, symbolizing our win. We kept walking. We found a sign that said, Beware. Cursed forest ahead. Kevin refused to go. Celine voted yes, because it sounded fun. Trashington peed on the sign. I tried to negotiate. We went in, because that's the kind of leadership I offer. Bad decisions made democratically. Inside the cursed forest, more fog, creepy noises, whispering wind that sounded like it was insulting us. Trashington swore he heard voices mocking him, which, fair. Kevin tried casting Detect Evil. It identified us. Celine took selfies with her knives. At one point, the path split again. The sign literally said, certain death, right, probable death, left, unlabeled, forward. We voted. Celine picked certain death. Trashington picked probable death. Kevin suggested going back. I picked unlabeled. Guess who won? Unlabeled led to a swamp. Naturally. A boot-sucking, foul-smelling swamp that probably had its own ecosystem of disappointment. We tried to go around. Got lost. Again. Trashington found a skull and used it as a hat. Kevin was crying. Celine threatened to quit for the fourth time. I just accepted my life choices. We're heroes, I reminded them. Kevin. Sure. Celine. For who? Trashington. Define hero. We made camp on a dry patch. It wasn't dry. Trashington curled up with his new skull friend. Kevin passed out mid-sob. Celine cleaned her blades while telling me about all the ways she'd kill me if I got us killed. I lay awake, listening to the wind mock me, hearing my team snore, threaten, or lick themselves in their sleep. This is fine, I whispered into the void. Because sure, we were lost, starving, wet, arguing constantly, no plan, no hope. But at least we were together. Heroes. In the worst possible sense of the word. And tomorrow, we keep going. Because what else could we do? Quit? We had nowhere else to go. Because this is the world's worst quest. And it was only getting worse. Morning arrived with all the subtlety of a punch in the face. Gray, cold, miserable. Our camp was now basically a bog. I woke up with something crawling on my leg. Celine was already awake, glaring at me like I owed her money. Kevin was face down in the mud, snoring. Trashington was trying to eat a worm for breakfast. Me. Team meeting. Celine. No. Kevin. I'm dead. Leave me. Trashington. Worm says hi. But I forced it anyway, because leadership. I laid out the map, what was left of it. A pulpy mess that smelled like mildew and regret. Kevin tried to drive with magic, set it on fire instead. Trashington screamed, "Barbecue!" and danced around it. Celine just slow clapped. So the map was gone. We were officially winging it. No plan is a bad plan, I argued. Kevin. I disagree. Celine. Same. Trashington. Plans are for the weak. We set off anyway, because as much as we hated each other, we hated staying in that swamp even more. The path was technically a path, just one made of mud, thorns, and emotional trauma. Trashington kept darting into the underbrush to scout. He mostly came back with garbage or the occasional angry squirrel. Kevin muttered the entire time. Spell incantations, curses, coffee orders, I couldn't tell the difference. Celine kept throwing knives at tree trunks for practice, nearly took my ear off once, claimed it was an accident. Winked. We stopped for lunch, or what passed for lunch. 2 apples. Celine borrowed. Half a loaf of stale bread and a single questionable mushroom. Trashington insisted was protein. Kevin wouldn't eat. Said he was fasting for spiritual clarity. Celine told him he'd need clarity to dodge her knives if he kept whining. Trashington stole my bread. I didn't have the will to fight him for it. We kept walking. Hours of silence, interrupted only by insults and existential dread. Then we saw it. A sign, painted in flaking red letters. Bandit toll, pay or be stabbed. Trashington applauded the honesty. Celine said she respected the hustle. Kevin immediately tried to turn around. I insisted we talk to them. Kevin. You can't negotiate with bandits? Me. You can if you have no money. Trashington. Or you could join them. Celine. Tempting. We walked right into their little checkpoint. 3 bandits. One looked about 15. Another was missing teeth. The last one had a sign that literally read, I'm with stupid. They demanded payment. We offered sarcasm. Bandit. Empty your pockets. Me. Sure. Behold. Lint. Kevin. A half-burned spellbook? Celine. Knives. So many knives. Trashington. Actual trash. They paused, visibly reconsidering. Celine smiled, which was terrifying. Want to see how sharp my knives are? Kevin lit his fingers on fire for dramatic effect. Immediately burned himself. Swore creatively. Bandits flinched. Trashington hissed at them and rummaged in his satchel. Pulled out a dead rat and threw it. That was enough. The bandits screamed. Ran off into the forest yelling about demons. We watched them go. Me? Diplomacy wins again. Celine. Sure. Kevin. I need ice. Trashington. We should loot them. We did. Found a single coin. Kevin cried with laughter. Celine pocketed it anyway. Trashington peed on the abandoned sign. We moved on, bickering the whole way. It started raining harder, because of course, lightning flashed. Thunder rumbled. Kevin screamed when it was too close. Celine laughed at him. Trashington tried to drink the rain. We found a bridge. Rotten, half collapsed, held together with hope and splinters. Me. We can cross it. Kevin. No. Celine. Ladies first. Trashington. Not it. We argued for 15 minutes in the rain, ended up drawing straws. I lost. Of course I did. I stepped on it. It creaked, moaned, threatened to end me. I made it halfway. Turned around to gloat. It collapsed. I fell. Right into the shallow, disgusting creek below. Trashington. Graceful. Kevin. Oh, no. Anyway. Celine. You alive? You alive down there? Me. I hate you all. I just want you to know that. I climbed out, soaked, freezing, covered in things I didn't want to identify. They laughed. Even Kevin cracked a smile. Heroes, I whispered through chattering teeth. Real goddamn heroes. But we kept going, because failure wasn't an option, it was default. And we were getting real good at it. After the bridge incident, which I'm sure will be immortalized in song as the day our leader ate shit in a creek, we needed a break. So naturally, we argued about where to camp. Kevin wanted high ground for tactical advantage. Celine wanted somewhere dry, which didn't exist. Trashington wanted a dumpster, which was really specific. I wanted to lie down and accept death. We settled on a clearing that was only mostly flooded. Progress. We tried to set up a fire. Kevin attempted magic. The fire roared to life, then immediately exploded, singeing his eyebrows right off. It was actually pretty funny. Celine nearly stabbed him out of reflex. Trashington applauded like it was a fireworks show. So, no fire. Again, we sat in the dark, in the rain, listening to distant howling that was either wolves or Trashington practicing his monologue. Kevin, we're gonna die down. We're gonna die out here. Celine, not before I kill you myself. Trashington, romantic. I tried another pep talk, because I'm nothing if not stubbornly delusional. Look, we might be lost, soaked, broke, and incompetent. Kevin, strong start. Celine, truly inspiring. Trashington, you forgot ugly. Me. But we're all those things together. That's what matters. Silence. Trashington farted. Kevin actually laughed. Celine rolled her eyes but didn't threaten murder for once. Progress. We huddled under Kevin's half-burned robe for warmth. Trashington nested in Celine's satchel. I used my trash can lid as an umbrella. Badly. We slept like that, shivering, hating it, but not alone. Morning, gray again, wet again, morale somehow lower. We found a road, more like a trail of mud with pretensions, but it was something. We walked in silence for an hour. Trashington sang dirty limericks. Kevin cast minor illusions of middle fingers. Celine threw knives at trees and never missed. I tried to pretend I had control. Then we heard them. Voices. We froze. Kevin actually hid behind me, which was hilarious because I'm the size of a sad ferret in flannel. Celine melted into the shadows. Trashington climbed onto my shoulder and hissed like a feral cat. From the fog came a merchant caravan. 3 donkeys, 2 wagons. One very confused driver. Me. Act normal. Kevin. You define normal. Celine. Stab them? Trashington. Eat them. The merchant blinked at us. We blinked back. It was awkward. Merchant. You folks lost? Me. We're heroes on a quest. Merchant. Ah, so, yes. He offered us a ride. Celine refused. Kevin immediately climbed in. Trashington demanded he be carried like a prince. I just apologized profusely. We ended up getting a ride, if you can call it that. Jolting. Mud spraying everywhere, donkeys that clearly hated us. Trashington got into an argument with one of the donkeys. Lost. Kevin fell asleep and drooled on the merchant's arm. Celine stole snacks from the supply crate and shared them only when I begged. At one point, the merchant asked about our quest. I tried to explain. Failed spectacularly. Settled on, we're trying not to die. He nodded sagely. Good plan. By sunset, he dropped us at the crossroads. Wished us luck. Told us to try not to make the local paper. We waved. Kind of. Celine gave him a polite glare. Trashington tried to steal his hat. Kevin just groaned. We were alone again. Standing at the crossroads. No signpost, no map, no idea. Me. So, any ideas? Kevin. Die here? Celine. Split up and blame each other. Trashington. Eat you first. Team spirit. Unmatched. But we picked a direction. Because you have to. Left. Always left. And we walked. Into the dark. Mud up to our knees. Voices tired. Heart stubborn. Because quitting wasn't an option. None of us had a home to go back to. No one wanted us except this stupid suicidal quest. We were heroes, technically. Barely. But enough. And tomorrow, we'd keep going. Because that's what idiots with nothing left do. Because that's what heroes do. We kept walking. No music swelled, no divine light guided us. Just mud, rain, and that gnawing sense that we'd made every wrong turn possible. But stopping wasn't an option. We didn't have options. Kevin, remind me why we're doing this again. Me, because if we don't, the kingdom burns, Kevin. Kevin, you say that like it's a bad thing. Celine didn't say anything, just walked ahead, eyes scanning, knives ready. She'd never admit it, but she was protecting us, in her own sociopathic way. Trashington sat on my shoulder, soaking wet and smelling like a sewer. He kept whispering insults in my ear like some garbage-scented conscience. Trashington. Worst. Chosen one ever. Me. Shut up. Trashington. Make me. We reached a ridge. Finally. An actual vantage point. We climbed it with all the grace of a dying walrus. Celine made it first. No problem. Kevin nearly fell off twice. Trashington refused to help, citing union rules. I ended up crawling on my stomach. When we got to the top, we finally saw it. The dark fortress. Barely visible through the rain. Silhouette against a blood-red sunset. Jagged towers. Lightning for dramatic effect. Like someone ordered the Evil Lair package off Etsy. Kevin actually whimpered. Celine smirked. Trashington clapped sarcastically. Me. Well, there it is. Kevin. Define there. Celine. Define is. Trashington. Define hope. We sat down. Just sat. Soaked to the bone. Hungry. Exhausted. Looking at our goal. Realizing how hilariously outmatched we were. Kevin. We're absolutely gonna die. Me. Yeah. Celine. At least it'll be interesting, if nothing else. Trashington. Called it. But none of us turned back, not even for a second. Because for all the bullshit, for all the fighting and insults and borderline war crimes, this was ours. Our quest. Our mess. Our stupid, suicidal, badly planned doom quest. And I think that was enough, at least for now. I watched my team. Kevin try not to cry. Celine spinning a knife on her finger. Trashington licking rainwater off his fur with disdain. My team? God help me. Bet you're feeling real confident in us now, huh? Don't worry. Act 4 is where it all goes wrong. We huddled together on that ridge. Rain hammering down, staring at destiny or death. Probably both. Because tomorrow, we storm the fortress. Or die trying. Or argue about it for 3 hours first. Either way, we're going. Heroes never die alone, they said. Lucky us. This has been Echoes of the Silk Road. If these tales spoke to you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Every ending is another beginning. Until we meet again.